Let's move on to talking about example 2. It says tiny homes are popular among many people because of their low cost and their simplicity to build. Some prefer them because they can be mobile and provides free lodging on long trips with long stops along the way. Below is a floor plan for a tiny home. Find the length, width, and perimeter for the plan by assuming that an entryway is, by code, 3 feet wide. So I'm going to whip out my ruler and notice that there are 2 entryways on the left-hand side. So there's one right here and another one right here. And so I'm going to pull out my ruler and notice that on my ruler, the entryway is 1 centimeter. So the way that we can create this legend is 1 centimeter is equal to 3 feet. That is going to make our conversions a little bit easier this time around. So let's go ahead and measure the length. So if you look on our ruler, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So our length for our tiny home is 9 centimeters. So I'm just going to go ahead and document that. So this is 9 centimeters on our actual floor plan, but in real life, it's going to be bigger than 9 centimeters. We have to convert that to feet in just a little bit. But before we do that, let's go ahead and measure this here. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then 0.2, 0.4. So then this is 19.4 centimeters. So we'll have to do a little bit more conversion with that. So let's scroll down. We know that 3 feet is equivalent to 1 centimeter. And so let's do the length first. So we know that the length is 9 centimeters, and we don't know how many feet that is. So that's what we're trying to figure out. So what I'm going to do, just like in the last example, I'm going to multiply both sides by 9 centimeters. So if I multiply that, those will divide out, and basically I just want to multiply 9 times 3 divided by 1. So if I do that on my calculator, I'll do 9 times 3 divided by 1, which is just the same thing as 9 times 3, and we know that that's 27. So here this is equal to 27 feet, and let's go ahead and do the same thing for the width. So the width is 19.4 centimeters. And we want to multiply both sides by 19.4 centimeters. And what that does for us is these will cancel here or divide out, and the centimeters here will divide out. So we'll end up getting that question mark is equal to, I just have to multiply 19.4 times 3 divided by 1. But again, that's just the same thing as 3, so I could just do that. And we know that that's 58.2 feet now. So this is equal to 58.2 feet. Okay, so if we want to kind of like document our final answers, we know that the length is equal to 27 feet. We know that the width is equal to 58.2 feet. And I'm going to hold off on documenting the perimeter because we still need to calculate that. But I want to answer some questions here first. It says, what did you notice? These are a couple of things that I noticed, and I'm going to document them. Maybe you noticed some other things, so maybe document what you noticed. So I noticed that the shape of the tiny home is rectangular. The other thing I notice is there are two entryways on the left-hand side. So that was something interesting that I noticed. Did you notice anything else that might be relevant? Okay. The second question asks, do you think you could come up with a formula that would work for the perimeter of a rectangle every time? Recall that if I have a rectangle, I have to add up these four lengths, or the four distances. And so let's think about what that formula looks like in general. So the last time what we did is we said that the perimeter was equal to the length plus the length plus the width plus the width. Now, is there another way that we can write that? There is. So the perimeter is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. And oftentimes you'll see the length and the width abbreviated as L and W. So here's another formula that might be helpful. The perimeter is equal to 2L plus 2W. So I'm just going to box this final formula. So that should always work if you are trying to calculate the perimeter of a rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to leave it up to you to answer these next two questions. What do you want to try? And what is something you heard or tried that you think you do not understand yet? Okay. Lastly, we want to calculate the perimeter of the tiny home. So what we want to do is we want to calculate the perimeter as 2 times 27 plus 2 times 58.2. And if I throw that into my calculator, let's see what we get. So 2 times 27 plus 2 times 58.2. So we end up getting that the perimeter is 170.4 feet. So that is our perimeter, and then these are our width and length.